And away we go, recording this on Thursday at about 2:10. Mary Kay is about to head to Jacksonville for the Browns preseason opener on Friday night. We're going to look ahead to that game with some things to watch. And like I said, it's Thursday at 2:10. So whenever you hear this, who knows if things have changed by then or not. I'm sure we'll have another pod to put out if they do. But as things stand now, some things to watch. And Mary Kay, let's just start with you. Give us something you're watching for Friday night in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing to watch, obviously, is Deshaun Watson in this football game. They have said that he's going to start the game. He has not played in a game since January 3rd, 2021. That was a 41-38 loss to the Titans. He threw three touchdowns and one interception that game. He was sacked 4 times. They lost the game, but he was pretty productive, like he was all of that season in 2020. He led the NFL with 4,823 yards, and he finished second in rating at 112.4, only to Aaron Rodgers. So very anxious to see what he's going to do on the field tomorrow night. We don't think he's going to play a lot. There is also that slight chance that he might not play at all. Again, as we're taping this on Thursday, I'm going to be getting on a plane today to head down to Jacksonville. Dan's coming down tomorrow on Friday, game day. But as we are taping this right now, the appeal ruling has not been handed down yet. So we have to, just keep an eye on that because, we just don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. But there is a world in which he won't be allowed to play on Friday night if that does take place.
All right. Ashley, what are you watching for?
This is tough because I think this is the number one storyline for this team, but kind of along those lines, I'm definitely watching to see what they do with the offensive line. I mean, we talked a little bit about this last week that, if you put Deshaun Watson out there, I know, Dan, you made the comment, like, does Kevin Stefanski have to call Joel Bitonio into his office and say, sorry, Joel, you have to step in and take one for the team and play a few series this time out. But I do think, we talked about if Joel doesn't play, Jack Conklin's obviously not ready to play yet. We haven't even seen him full 100% go through everything in practice. I think if you get 3 of those guys out there, I'm interested to watch that, and especially, of course, Nick Harris and what he looks like, because we just haven't seen a ton of him yet. Obviously, the Browns have been privy to a lot more throughout his 2.5 years practicing. But really, we just have the Green Bay game from last year to look back on and kind of see what he did well and see how he can use his mobility, which is something he's been praised for, and how that works with a new quarterback. So I'm definitely interested in how this offensive line looks going out there and what Kevin Stefanski does when we see Deshaun Watson out there.
Okay, I'm going to go with the other big story of this week from my first thing to watch, and that's Jakeem Grant. Of course, his season is over. He's placed on IR. We'll see if he's able to make a comeback down the road or not. But on the Browns' unofficial depth chart, for what it's worth, Jakeem Grant was the only player listed in the return slots. There was no second teamer. It was Jakeem Grant. He was going to make this team. He was going to return kicks. Whatever he did on offense, great. But he was going to return kicks. So now I'm curious who they put back there. It seems to make sense that Dearness Johnson would get an opportunity. He's done it before. Demetric Felton could get an opportunity. There's some undrafted players, but Ashley, this is one of those things to keep an eye on as we go through the game. Hopefully this defense forces a lot of punts, or I don't know, maybe they give up a lot of touchdowns and we get to see some kickoff returns, but that's one of the most important things to keep an eye on is who's back there and when. Mary Kay, did you have another one?
Yeah, you know what? I am very anxious to see the rookie defenders. I mean, I want to see Alex Wright and Martin Emerson out there. Those guys have had really, really nice camps. Martin Emerson is going to get some significant playing time because Denzel Ward is still out with this foot injury, and it's starting to get to be about 2 months long now. So that turned out to be a pretty significant injury. So Martin, it's his chance to show that that he deserves some playing time on the outside this year, and that the moment isn't going to be too big for him. And same thing with Alex Wright. I mean, the potential for Alex Wright, I mean, they are just so high on him and excited about him. And, his first chance to show what he can do, and to a little bit of a lesser extent, Perion Winfrey. I mean, he needs to get in there. So there's 3 young defenders that have this chance to kind of show Browns fans who they really are.
What about Cade York?
Yeah.
So my
thing, I will say I am excited to see Cade York kick like in a stadium, in that environment and everything, going against like actual pressures, since we haven't seen that in practice yet. But what I'm more excited for to see Cade York is to actually see him kick at first energy, and especially to kick at first energy when maybe it's not the best weather day. Like, I think that's just like the biggest question for him. Like we know he can, he has super great leg strength and things like that, but I'll be more interested, I guess, to watch him when he's going up against more adverse weather conditions.
My last thing is, there's so little to kind of see in the preseason, and teams do keep things pretty vanilla, but the Browns still have to run their offense and they still have to call their plays. And I just want to see kind of what this offense is going to look like. Do we see more 2-back sets? I think that's something we're going to see more of this year. How much 12 personnel do they use? Just sort of seeing, how much motion is there? Do they use more wide receivers? I just want to see what this new offense is going to look like. And because Deshaun Watson is starting, we're going to get, a pretty decent idea of what it will look like with him at quarterback. Is he in the pistol more? Again, that's something we've seen a little bit more in the spring and in training camp. I just want to see, Mary Kay, what this offense is going to look like. And the preseason is going to at least give us an opportunity to see the personnel they're going to use and how they might deploy it.